menem say mpanyimfo ne atiefo enim papa bi a yefre no oboy siki oya asantene pio Kumawood movie stars yibia yamina mekashe na no ni opanyine ka say hey munyai asante enokre asante enokre asante chire nokre asante ani agi kontompo eno ena ene yewoyi ebiem yefra bi akwes ono nso saa na oka no ose si enyawo asante memo onyene no ne yede katase shefra kadam azan ene yede titiwo nti obenyina oba beye panyine no na azan ahye ne ma nti ohu adifita wasi yetuntum kwa obefa so adefende abone chidom mo obi a woni se adefita no ye tuntum no obeye nti ne ekosi abusiafo ma ne nye obi bia nwanwa esa se so ne banya ya de titi obo eno enom de anyini ya se ne ye de akire no esua ne odi kan enantie nti nsemu a opanyira ye frɛ no agikum ekikeyi enya me nwanwa agene mpuati na ekikeyi ose odi jataba na jatama me no kura hono so na wo jataba mpanyimfo se ponko papa mpo erita na sabi wo ofui adenim odi wonsa atu abrewa duanim na obedi nso nananom ni abusi adom ni hwefo enne yeti wei amanyoko bi mpanyimfo a ewo ye manten ne Ghana ha eta afrefre yen epa acho amanyoko be ya MPP mpanyimfo se omo frɛ yen epa acho ne nyina ne se na omo ne moda se Sampa nsɛm no sei na tie se omo hu ya nka kwanya a omde ma asante gene ne Emmanuel Ankama ma omo hye amanyoko ye ti sabi edi nsɛm ho frani masɛm ewo Sampa ha ma adofo kwa ahuyeniam adofo tie pintin kwa adofo sui ebi mu frem ena sabi ebi mu adidam se na nka omo nim se saa ena saa nsɛm itia nka nyaade ombe soso asante hene ya nka maso nti omo pa acho se nyame ya dom na Ghanafo ehu omo mobo esa ma omo abanya so omo mra bie mu a saa nsɛm hono yi omo nsoso so na mpanyemfo se ade no si fom no wa mame me nso mo enso awansa eno na abeyi bia mame mpanyemfo se ne wo wa aka ne da no esro so no TMPP yesu mo esan ne modi ye 2023 2024 minim agene mbuatin sabra no Ghana ha na enya me nwa sabra no na odi fraka down kwa so ebu odike agina manyoko no office sika bi ewa amanyoko no sa papa ye eno na chi NDC ba abam odi ne ntuma kobo omodia no na onim se na funa odi nam no ombe wona mobo apebe bia manahye eno nso NDC fo hu se da bi ne pa akatase hye dream kankan proye agare na de ne tro omone no entime momo emobra nti omanfie no na mom wahwehwe mu a ye ne de mpanyimfo se no ma won takra se ene tubom kyereme wadamfo na menkyerɛ osoban ti watime de ne ntuma akobo ankama dia no nti na ne onam radio station to radio station TV station to TV station esa se omo ye ntafo wo soban ese enti ne agenim eye no asanteman mu no se unnimu a saa na ankama nso eye no Sampa na bibia wone mre saa nso na bibia nso ewo na wiye enti MPP for ne emode ya famo no 2023 2024 bibia no a betimi asadi ya dihia efrem no nkwa abrayin biem na agene mboate ye beda ase ene wo ani a otimide ho no ni odi bone e wo sampa wo ani a otimide ho no ni ofre obi se mumra na mummechi obi mfasikan enkoto ne menemu ye danase oba ntema nkeye na sampafo ne nananom se memesa wo otimi ya saa de abisiafo me nkai mu yawo me ofa pascal agene mu boaten wan na ku no e besro boaye me ye hunu ne pakro wan na ku me ofa pascal samodua ebiem menua asa wan na ku no menua alaji mama na natwafo fie wan na time ko ko boni tuo eku no na adofo a adidem adofo a aprapra adofo a yahwere adapade no omo nso wan na yeye agene mboaten aka jataba yesro sampa maise boayen mayen hunu saafo yi na twesere mi no edaja so a yenni baakobo enya baako abusiafo ene nananom no krede ya sede me ofa ne ka no no kre ye ka kire wa ya etise ebunu aduro sede o ka no ene asante ahimfo bebre efre yen asante ahimfo ne bebre efre yen etwe won ho efri kontompozem frakadam niama ekoso menhia ene o mo fra yen we fra se me de metufo o manfa we se me skana e baaye no manfa me nsanka bi metwe me ho frem ene se asante nyene Emmanuel Ankama ne ejenim boaten monimu a ne ekoso no na bisa ho asante de bi oka I have 66 paramounts sa 66 paramounts no why na asore abeye ne ajenim boaten eyi obi aye bi sa yimfu 66 no why na asore abeka nsem asante ne eka bi obi asore eno ono wase adofonia tiefonia ahwefo ehu senka 66 paramounts yi odi no kra kom nyina be sore abotidom adiwachi enti se wonnimu a ne ekoso no nananom ye de yenim se Kwame Nkrumah ebeje ifa ahudie maaye no ye wo Ghana ba kope asantifo ekasa asanti yoman asanti yoman ye ne wo achinye na mom sa asanti mai no sampa yenka ho sa shiena asante mai wo no sampa mai ye kanipi ye yenka ho na mom ye ka Ghana ho ye she Ghana ase Ghana brani Ghana nhihye ene ye didi tuma ewo Ghana brani Ghana nhihye nso e kire se ohine bia anakro bia ewo nasi ahini enti se akonya bito ewo kro bi so a kromo asi ahini ene wo se isi hini se asem eba ho a regional house ewo sa region no ho ne ye dekọ enti yen Ghana mra ase ne ye hye enti ye besere se omo kan nkura ye sha santema ya ase na mesramo mamo mo homusuo enkopo sampani esan se yen ye nafanafo ye frika kala ena fantreni papa bia owo Sampa Ghana ha na si Africa kala ena kakala no e wo Cote d'Ivoire na momo bia wonim nenem bia enno e wo amanyosem abakosem mo ena beka se ompre mo be mfri Cote d'Ivoire e medi Sampa kunya onem se saa nipa no nenem die e wo abakosem mo e mo e ha nananom ni atiefo yase abai etayankama mitwi ho a menti ase nokre ena nipa mpe ana azeden Sampa krodua kakrakai nipa bese aduasa apima aduasa nsia ena wo Sampa krodua mo a police for ne a soldier for ba broma why fear and yet me ko yi atu mako nwotwe why fear yet me yi tu abuba o ha nwotwe ni adwukron efri tisa ankama fie enti nipa bi sei no asante yiri e kire se yenya ono mane nko na bia ye bowra mi dem ya hu sika mampo wo ho no ye mfa mi mom ne nko gira mra no ana menti ase nananum abusiafo mpanyefo ahwefo menti ase mon kire mase ana asa na Ghana mra ne kire ana asante man mra nko e na Ghana mra nko se sa na tia on kire ana onu ene ye Ghana mra ni onu beka ene wo se Ghana mra shebedwem Ghana etemu adwuma no emfanye adwuma na yanti ase o mekirikiri yemo na sabi ye nni na tem nananom antiti yensa nananom titi yense yen ka nokre ena kwa yemfa so nka enti ti ye bisa ye nni na tem asem eni ye kirikiri abisiafo ene asantefo agi social media afa no mu di atem sampafo nananom manimu amomfa mfeme omumu afifi afi omukrom poto ahiafo nananom nokre Sampa yana nananom ba ha kwia ena na omoye eno nso ena omde atete yen nananom kire yen se ansa na yensa bekoya no no yensam yenem fifiri ansa na yensa akoya no enti tembia sampafo eya dwumaden yenem dwurim ye sabe ni nananom ankire yen ene se ye di adwen bekwa akogina baabi apu obi afaso nananom ankire yen se yemfa ya adwen ena ne semra mobile phone enton mobi engine sika eno de nananom ankire yen ntoba sampa fantrani papa bia ni wa onim sa de ne ye na mom ye ni mom timi ye sa ne ama no enti uko mo kro a sa e no mo ye no ebiem esen sa antitie na nananom de ma ye no sampa ne bia ni wa ne ho aba asemu a efa katase hye proye dwem kankan hoda ebi si Ghana hada ebi nsi o mai foforo bi nso da na mom yenem abusiapo e wo Ghana ha omohine ho aba asem e wo baabi ye ka no social media so sample ini bia ni wo ebi nsi da enkopim se wi ase besei esanse ye nananom e kire yen kwa yemfa so ni nidi nananom ankire yen kwa yemfa so emmokro no kwa yemfa so enye dwem kwa yemfa so emfa ya dwen enye frakadam enju obisika enkodi sede oboy sikika no no se asante empe nokre yen ye de nananom de nokre ena twa ya froma etiti yen ye de nokre chi 24/7 empo ubekuye na ye be ka nokre ema wakuye nananom makani se ewie no papa no a ye fra no ade ne mbuatin e kan se bebi na nyansani bia otie ya no ode ne nsam no ego nsanie ni a obehu no ne ntia papa no yesa osum nafo na yen ye de yenim se nyame o ata so ne sampa nsase be di asem ama yen e na yen kwati no kreda enkodi kontompo achi obi ga se an ye comment ya ye kotwetwe sika absiafo fantra ni bia ne wa ye tete ne se on tua bribe katasehye anase sumasigwa onye bida na mom ye yenim akwa bia ye fra na busirbo rebi ono abekan sa asante hene e de omo hye atapanyire ase enti sumasigwa omkodi ye no ono adi betudwa na ye ka kira asante fo so omo nto omo yene nefo na abusia ya etise abusuma kotre ene omo dine omo hye ase omo so omo nanade afu atechiwa anso ho omo so de aka ewi akire omo ko suma so omo te se omuna na kura bi suma no ware na ye frɛ no sosa nti akyire no so omo ye sosa asefo eno na ntintam yesan kopie menhyi ase ye kosiesi azem na omani asantefo akoye kanana omsisisi ade omuna na edi jeli kosa ya frɛ afo atechiwa yakɔ aka yakɔ sosa enadie jeli kosa abusia wi eni abusuma kotre omumpo adi abusuma kotre na dwumadie ena omode sabre bia yetemesisa yeden na me enye me nwanwa se ekyiri ombeka se omoye asonafo a omode asantefo akonya de bi ena a omofri amakom nkakra kakra ebuboko na ebeba sonso nanom samne doso na mabrobro soa bi enti bebi a yedro no nanom se nka yempoto kakra na said ya meka no kre ya ka no kre chewa obeka se odi watem medikan aka nanom kire yen kwa yemfa so nka no kre enti obi a otimidi yatem omo afifiafin ahiafo no sabe one agene buatin ne nananom se menka nkire mo se yen de nananom ekire nyansa kwa yemfa so nka no kre na mom nananom a kire ye timie kwa ya faso edi atem enti ye li atem na mom ye ka no kre no nso a ebewo esanse ompe no kre nananom bebi a madro no mepoto kakra nananom atena che sere be ya ne onti kasa ya ye ka yi ono nso eba profomo a obete na wete asem na asem. Press conference by Nananom and the good people of Sampa addressing falsehood, misinformation, and external interference in Sampa chieftaincy affairs. The people of Sampa have watched with growing concern the reckless commentary, deliberate misinformation, and persistent attempts by certain individuals and external actors to interfere in the internal affairs of the Sampa traditional area and distort truth surrounding the Sampa chieftaincy matter. It has become necessary to respond firmly and unequivocally to recent comments attributed to Nana Osei Tutu II and the repeated media outbursts of Mr. Ajeni Mbuatin, popularly known as Jataba. Let it be stated clearly from the outset, Sampa is not the property of any individual, throne, kingdom, or external authority. No person, regardless of status, influence, or historical prestige, has the right to claim authority over Sampa or dictate the affairs of the Nafana people. Sampa was not conquered, inherited, gifted, purchased, leased, or surrendered to any external authority. Our identity, history, customs, and traditions are not subject to endorsement from outsiders. The people of Sampa know who they are, where they come from, and the customs and traditions that govern their affairs. We require no external validation of our existence, legitimacy, culture, or identity. Any attempt to project supremacy over Sampa or rewrite our history is both unacceptable and profoundly disrespectful. The chieftaincy matter and political narratives. Equally troubling are the continuous attempts by Jakaba to mislead the public through sensational allegations, political propaganda, and reckless commentary concerning the Sampa chieftaincy dispute. The facts are straightforward. The Sampa chieftaincy dispute does not begin under the current government. It predates the present administration and has existed through several governments. over many years. It is therefore intellectually dishonest and politically opportunistic to blame President John Dramani Mahama, the Bono Regional Minister, the District Chief Executive, or any current government official for a dispute that long preceded their assumption of office. The obvious question remains, where was Jataba in 2023 and 2024 when this same dispute was unfolding? Who occupied political office at that time? Why was there no comparable outreach, daily media campaign, or attempt to hold those then in authority accountable? The answer is obvious. Selective outreach is not principle. It is politics. One cannot remain silent when it is convenient and suddenly discover a voice when circumstances favor a preferred narrative. That is not advocacy. That is opportunity. The people of Sampa reject such hypocrisy. Who determines the chief of Sampa? More importantly, Jataba, an outsider, continues to speak with remarkable confidence on matters he appears to understand very little about. He has appointed himself investigator, prosecutor, judge, jury, kingmaker, historian, and spokesperson on a matter rooted in the customs and traditions of the Nafana people. No radio station determines who becomes the chief of Sampa. No politician determines who becomes the chief of Sampa. No social media campaign determines who becomes the chief of Sampa. No commentator determines who becomes the chief of Sampa. The occupant of the Sampa stool is determined through customs, traditions, and lawful institutions of the Nafana people. The authority belongs to Sampa and Sampa alone. I mean Sampa alone. Leadership in Sampa is neither manufactured through private arrangements nor conferred through external endorsement. It is determined through the accepted customs, traditions, and established institutions of the Nafana people. Okuji Amaya Osamodiya II underwent the accepted customary processes of the Nafana people and was duly installed in accordance with the traditions, customs, and established practices of Sampa. His installment was conducted in conformity with the recognized customary procedures governing the selection and installation of a chief within the Sampa traditional area. Nananom and the good people of Sampa will not sit idly by while unscrupulous and opportunistic individuals like Jataba, external to our traditional processes and institutions, seek to undermine the integrity of our customs by casually and arbitrarily describing a legitimately installed chief as an impostor or denying his status as a chief. If the legitimacy of a chief who has duly gone through the accepted customs, traditions, and established processes of Sampa is being questioned by outsiders, then equally legitimate questions must be asked regarding the basis upon which Emmanuel Ankama, aka Amakom GZ, and those supporting him seek recognition, particularly where such recognition appears to derive from influences and authorities outside the customs, traditions, and established institutions of the Nafana people. We further state that the persistent public references and descriptions directed at Okuji Amaya Osamodiya II are viewed by the people of Sampa as disrespectful, provocative, and unacceptable. Mutual respect cannot be demanded from others while being denied to them. Allegations without evidence. Even more disturbing are the repeated attempts to associate Okuji Amaya Osamodiya II and revered individuals of Sampa with criminal conduct and violence without presenting a shred of verifiable evidence. Let the public be reminded that throughout the years, no credible evidence has been presented to establish that Okuji Amaya Osamodia the second, Nana Chafuayine, Nana Kronti or Alhaji Brahma Musi have engaged in violence, criminal conduct, or any unlawful enterprise. Can the same be said of Emmanuel Ankama? I will take it again. Let the public be reminded that throughout the years, no credible evidence has been presented to establish that Okuji Amaya Osamodia II, Nana Chafuayine, Nana Kronti or Alhaji Brahma Musi have engaged in violence, criminal conduct, or any unlawful enterprise. Can the same be said of Emmanuel Ankama, whose interests Nana Osei Tutu II and Databa are vigorously pursuing? Nana Osei Tutu and Databa must understand that allegations are not evidence, rumors are not facts, propaganda is not proof, and radio commentary is certainly not a court of law. Reckless accusations repeated endlessly do not transform themselves into truth. If Databa possesses credible, verifiable, and admissible evidence against any of these respected individuals, he should immediately submit such evidence to the appropriate investigative and judicial authorities for action. That is how serious allegations are handled in a civilized society, not through inflammatory rhetoric, sensational media outbursts, character assassination, and trial by radio. However, if no such evidence exists and none has been presented thus far, then the relentless campaign of misinformation, reckless accusations, and deliberate attempts to tarnish reputations must cease now. The people of Sampa will not allow unfounded allegations, personal vendettas, and political theatrics to poison public discourse, mislead the public, or undermine confidence in respected traditional authorities and the current government. The time has come for facts to prevail over fabrication, evidence over speculation, and truth over propaganda. Databa must either produce the proof he claims to possess or stop using the airwaves as a platform for baseless accusations and calculated character attacks. The position of the people of Sampa. We vehemently reject the absurd suggestion that the position of the people of Sampa is the product of political influence. If politics is truly responsible for the support enjoyed by Okuji Amaya Osamodia II, then which government stood with him and the people of Sampa throughout 2023 and 2024? The truth is simple. The position of Sampa has never been based on politics. It is rooted in conviction, custom, tradition, and the collective will of the people. And that position has never changed. For the avoidance of doubt, the people of Sampa continue to recognize Okuji Amaya Osamodia II as the legitimate traditional leader of Sampa. A call for restraint and respect. We therefore call on Nana Osei Tutu II to refrain from further interference in matters that properly belong to the people of Sampa, and to resist the temptation to make pronouncements that unnecessarily inflame tensions and deepen divisions. History judges great leaders not by the extent of their influence, but by the wisdom with which they wield it. Influence without respect breeds resentment, and interference without legitimacy breeds rejection. We likewise call on Ajene Buatin alias Databa to immediately cease the dissemination of concocted stories, disinformation, misinformation, unsubstantiated allegation, and inflammatory commentary regarding the Sampa chieftaincy matter. Enough of the propaganda, enough of the distortions. Enough of the political theatrics. Enough of the attempts to impose external opinions on an internal customary matter. Conclusion. The people of Sampa have exercised extraordinary patience and restraint in the face of repeated provocation. That restraint must never be mistaken for weakness, ignorance, or surrender. We remain united, resolute, and unwavering in defending our customs, traditions, dignity, identity, institutions, and the right to determine our own affairs. We shall continue to resist every attempt to distort, politicize, undermine, or delegitimize them. Let truth prevail over falsehood. Let evidence prevail over propaganda. Let due process prevail over prejudice. Let custom prevail over interference. Let justice prevail over manipulation. And let the customs, traditions, and autonomy of the people of Sampa be respected by all, including Asantehene, Asantemai, and Jataba. Enough is enough. Nananom ni adofo penyemfo ni ahwefo ni atifo. Mede mekasa beba na wiye. Meda nananom ase, meda Sampa mayase, meda ahwefo ni atifo nyina ase. Se modemo bre efemo yen, efa sensem bia ekoso. Menim se efre na ekroyi, Asantehene, Asantemai, Jataba. Ebejai sabi. Nsem huna yakeka egu Sampa fo okugye aman nananom ne Sampa adehye so. Meda mo nyina amase Nyankopon onka ye nyina ye ho.